Hello, in this episode, we're going to talk about why you might not be owning your leadership position. I'm Tanya Lacy, and I've been working with CEOs and entrepreneurs to help them in their leadership with their teams for 23 years. And this episode is all about sharing some knowledge, paying it forward to you. So thanks for watching. So I've got here 4 key reasons that you may not be owning your leadership. So perhaps you are a business owner and you're a bit frustrated because you're not really owning it. Maybe you're starting out in a leadership role, or maybe you've just taken on some new responsibility, or you may even be an individual contributor working for a larger firm, larger company, and you're having a bit of trouble kind of really, owning or grasping that. You could even be in a startup, okay? Whatever situation you find yourself in, you're obviously drawn to this topic, so please grab a pen and paper and we'll dig in. So the number one reason that I've got here for not owning your leadership position, and I jump in if you do know me and you've watched some of my stuff, I'm going to, dig into the deep bits, is that you may not actually believe in yourself, okay? You may not believe in your core, the core of who you are, that you are actually a leader. Now, that may not be your fault. There might be something that's happened in your past. You may have a voice in your head telling you that you're not leadership material. There might be something that's happened that's kind of obstructing your ability to believe. Regardless of how it lodged itself there, the facts are that you have some kind of belief system challenge that you really need to shift. It's blocking you from really owning the fact that you really are a leader or in a leadership position. So that's number one. Number two reason that you may not be owning your leadership is that you're waiting for someone else to validate you and come along like a knight in shining armor and say, hey, you're an amazing leader. So don't do that. What I'm saying to you is don't do that. Don't wait for you to define your own leadership approach and your own leadership style and leadership characteristics based on what someone else thinks or based on what someone else wants. What's really important is for you to do your own research, your own study, your own personal and professional development path, to develop your own approach that's unique to you and to work it and to have some certainty around that for yourself, rather than be kind of waiting for some offhanded compliment or some feedback from someone else. So this is a really important thing, because that white knight in shining armor is not going to come. Don't rely on that. Be self-led and self-actualized in relation to this. Next is that you frankly have never considered yourself to be a leader. So perhaps you are a team supervisor, or you're an individual contributor, or maybe you're in your own startup, your own thing. And for the first time, you find yourself having to work differently with other groups of people, but you haven't quite got your head around the fact that, hey, actually this is requiring influence, this is requiring activating other people, but you've never actually called yourself a leader before, referred to yourself as a leader. And so because of that, the language that you're using in your own brain doesn't match or hasn't caught up with what you're really doing day to day. And so that's part of not owning your own leadership position. The final one here is that deep down you may be afraid, I've written here, afraid to take leadership to heart and deeply internalize that you're a leader, because it's going to mean responsibility and commitment. So sometimes the reason that we don't want to take on that leadership mantle, we don't want to see ourselves as a leader, is because we know that deep down there's a responsibility with that, and we're perhaps not really ready for it. We're not ready to really commit and really go for it. And because of that, it's easier to kind of say, okay, well, no, I'm not a leader. So these are 4 things to keep an eye on. I'll just recap: that you may not believe in yourself at the core, that you're a leader, that you're waiting for someone else to tell you that you're a leader, that you've never considered yourself to be a leader before, and that you are afraid to take on the leadership position because it might mean responsibility and commitment. Okay, now there is definitely a thing called the law of maintenance if you are taking on more responsibility, and that law of maintenance means that there is a skill to maintain, there is self-reflection to do, and there are things to work through. Now, it doesn't have to be complicated, and if you're someone who is really ready to take that next step and to do the work, I'd love you to join us in a group that we have. And inside that group are other people who are on the leadership development journey that have just self-decided to develop their own leadership approach, keeping it very simple. And it's a free group. It's facilitated by me, and I'm inviting you to join us because inside that group I have a 4-video series. It's a free series, and you can start to go through those videos and be reflecting on perhaps even some other areas that you can be tuning into to improve your influence, to improve your communication, to improve your presence, and to really at the end of the day own the fact that you are, by title and position or by disposition, are actually in a leadership position or a leadership role. So I'll put the link to that group below. You're welcome to join us. And even if you decide not to, I really hope that you got a lot out of today's tutorial, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one. I'm Tanya Lacy, and thank you very much for watching.